Hey, what's up? It's Jonathan Belcher here. Just recording this video for those of you who may be considering getting started in Herbalife. Maybe you're looking into becoming a Herbalife distributor. Maybe you're a little skeptical, you're on the fence, and actually had somebody who hit me up and they're looking to get started in Herbalife as well, but they had a few questions for me. And the person's name is Sarah, right? So Sarah, I'm just making this video to answer your questions that you had emailed me. I'm not going to say her last name out of respect for her, but I'm sure that this video can help a lot of other people as well. So I decided to record this YouTube video to answer her questions because her questions were so great. I feel like a lot of other people have these same concerns as well. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is something that's going to be beneficial for those of you who are looking to get started into Herbalife and those of you who just got started in Herbalife, right? It's going to help both of you succeed. So here's Sarah's question. So Sarah emailed me the other day, and Sarah said, I would love your input on how to support your clients and team once they buy into it. How to keep up with the questions and concerns they have. Essentially, how does one juggle the demands of the clients and team members along with getting new business without people feeling unsupported or just like another client? That is a great question. And Sarah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer this question right now for you and anybody else who may be looking to get started in Herbalife. And hold on 1 second. So I would love your, and this is a great question. The reason why this is a great question, because when you're getting into a business, a network marketing, MLM type of business, you have to realize that you are going to be dealing with people. And there is a leadership aspect to the business as well. But it's not meant to be such a hard journey. It's meant to just challenge you and pull the greatest out of you, right? The greatest characteristics. I do believe that if you have great people skills, if you're a positive thinker, if you are into personal development, I believe that that really helps you be better at dealing with large groups of people, and it helps you be better with building relationships and stuff like that. And this type of business is all about that stuff. It's all about not only your skill set, but also how you treat people. That's very important. So let's get into this question though. She said, I would love your input on how to support your clients and team once they buy into it. Now, the best way for me to answer this question that you have, because she has a very detailed question here, which I love this question, right? The best way for me to answer this question is, I want you to know that entrepreneurship happens in 3 phases, right? The success on the entrepreneurship journey in this type of business, whether we're talking about Herbalife, whether we're talking about Amway, whether we're talking about Mary Kay, whether we're talking about Mona V, it doesn't matter. Beachbody, it doesn't matter what company I'm talking about, right? This still applies no matter what company you're looking to get started in. And I want you to know the best way for me to answer this question, so that you have a better understanding of what to expect on your journey, have a better understanding of what to expect once you become a Herbalife distributor. That's the whole point right here. So success happens in 3 phases, right? It happens in 3 phases. The first phase of your entrepreneurship, your business venture, your new business you're looking to get started in, whatever, right? The first phase is the student phase, is what I like to call the student phase, right? And in the student phase, you're mostly learning. You're mostly observing. You're mostly, being a student, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. You're being a student, and when you're a student to some type of game or some type of niche marketplace industry, you're trying to soak up as much knowledge as possible in that phase. You're trying to learn as much as possible in that phase. You're getting, you're probably investing into training courses. You're probably investing into coaching programs. You're probably investing into mentorship. You're probably in this phase, the student phase, which is the first phase of your entrepreneurship, your business, whatever business you're looking to get started in. Even Herbalife, even those of you who are looking to get started in Herbalife right now, I want you to understand that there are phases to success. In the first phase, you have to be okay with being a student. Because a student is someone who's looking to learn. There's someone who's looking to become a master at something. They're looking to become an expert. So in that phase, like I said, you're looking to get knowledge. You're looking to get education. You're learning. You're going to the events, right? You're probably going to hotel meetings that your company holds. Whatever you got to do, you're listening to the stories of the top producers in your upline. Whatever you got to do in the student phase, you're just learning really. So in that phase, I don't want you to get overwhelmed worrying about too much about, oh, how do I help my team members when they join me? Your job is not to worry about that too much. The way that you handle, the way that you support your clients and team once they buy into it is you simply, once they buy into it, you plug them into the system that your organization, your team, your upline already has in place, or your mentor. If you have a mentor or somebody who trains you or somebody who's coaching you on how to have success in your business, all you would do is you would just plug your new member into the system that they have going on. And you say, why, John? Why? Well, if you're in student mode, your goal is to make your first sale. Your goal is to start making some type of income, right? You don't have enough time, you don't even have enough knowledge to be worrying about and to be overwhelmed by new people who join you in the business. So what you have to do is you have to basically send those new people that join you in the business, even it doesn't matter if it's Herbalife, you want to send those new people to whatever the system is that you have in place for your team, right? You may have a website, a training system, a mentor, whatever. You send those new people to that mentor. You send those new people to your organization, your upline. Let them handle it. Let them take care of it, right? Because they're the ones who are the expert. They're the ones who know the business. They know the ins and outs. They're no longer in the student phase of the business. So why would you get overwhelmed trying to, train and hold the hands of a new person who just joined you in the business if you already have a system in place that's designed for them to learn and experience student phase just like you did? Right? So that's all you got to do is that's how you support your clients. Now, there's nothing wrong with creating systems, even if you're in a student phase. There's nothing wrong with creating systems that allow you to stay in contact with your new members. It doesn't mean you're gonna be doing some extravagant, super advanced teachings or super advanced trainings to your new members because you're still in the student phase, right? So in the student phase, you just share the most basic type of value that you know with your new members. And you just keep in contact with them, right? You're just checking up on them, seeing how they're doing in their business. And that's all you're really doing. But the bulk of what your new member is going to learn when you're in the student phase is not going to be from you. The bulk of what they're going to learn is going to be from the company. There are trainings they already have in place, from your upline, from your mentor, from your trainer, from your coach. Most of what the new person who joins you learn when you're in the student phase is going to be from your mentor or whoever, right? So don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed thinking about, what do I do when I get new members? It is good to think about that, though. I will say that it is a phenomenal thing to think about that. You should be thinking about that. So then she moves on to the second part of the question, and I love these questions. She says, how to keep up with the questions and concerns they have. Essentially, how does one juggle the demands of the clients and team members along with getting new business without people feeling unsupported or just like another client? Well, just like I said, right? Also, what you can do is you can expound. I said expound. What you can do is you can create systems. You can create systems even if you're doing online marketing, right? Even if you're doing online marketing and a majority of your team, they're coming from, online people, from people you met online. It's not people you actually met in your local area. That's perfectly fine. You can still set up systems even offline, right? I know even in my Power Distributor Pro training system, in that course, I teach you, basically the ins and outs of the whole business. I teach you lead generation, traffic generation, as well as conversion, how to close sales. We go deep into that stuff into Power Distributor Pro, where I teach Herbalife distributors how to really start gaining some momentum and start generating sales so you can start making some money. And in that process, you're in the student phase because as you're going through those videos, you're learning a lot. And as you're learning a lot, you get to write down a lot of stuff. Now, of course, you're in the student phase, granted. But remember, you're going through the training, you're learning, you're getting a lot of information. Now, let's say somebody joined you in the business now. Now, you just went through the training, so of course you're not an expert yet, but at least you got the information written down so you can share some of that information with your new member as well. Right? Or you can tell them, look, hey, get access to our team training that we have here. It's going to teach you how to, close sales, how to generate leads, how to expand your business online with Herbalife. Check out this training course that we have here for our team, right? And the new member is going to say, oh, great, phenomenal. At least we have a supportive team here. They're not going to feel bad that you're just recommending them to our team program or team system or training or whatever, right? You just want to plug in your new members to something you already have in place that it teaches them the same way how you're a student and you're learning. They're going to plug into the same training and they're going to get taught without you even teaching them, without you even having to take the time to teach them. I will still recommend that you still hit up your new members, right? You still want to keep in contact with them, of course. Of course you still want to do that. So She said, essentially, how does one juggle the demands of the clients and team members along with getting new business without people feeling unsupported just like another client? Well, you shouldn't, when you're in the student phase, at least, you shouldn't worry about juggling the demands of your new members. You should kind of put most of their demands on your upline, your mentor, your coach. And the reason why is because they know what's best. You don't want to give your new member, your new team member, any false information. You don't want to tell them anything that's going to mess them up in their business. So I'd recommend, basically letting them ask questions to your mentor, right? Or, stuff like that, because it makes sense. If your mentor is the one who has, the trainings and stuff like that or whatever, just plug the new member into that. The same way how you were a student to the game, the new member has to become a student to the game too in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to make money. They have to be a student. If they don't become a student, they don't get knowledge, they don't get education. And then, we struggle in life and we struggle in business, which is what we're trying to avoid, right? Which is why we created the 300 to Freedom movement. We're trying to avoid people having to struggle. We kind of more so want people to hit the ground running in business and stuff like that. So don't get overwhelmed with the new member is what I'm trying to say, right? Mainly when you're in student phase. Now, like I was saying, there's 3 phases, right? You have student phase. That's the phase where you're just trying to learn. You're brand new. You're just trying to learn. You're trying to soak up knowledge. You're trying to invest into your education. You're trying to get training. Cool. The next phase after that, you have the student phase, and you have the results phase. The results phase means like you've been taking action on the training. You've been applying it, and you're starting to get some results. You're starting to actually make some money. You're starting to get some leads. You're starting to get some people hitting you up. You're starting to get some sales, right? That's the second phase of your career. You're going to get results. Now, when you're in the results phase, now, of course, I would say don't feel bad about taking more of your time to give your new member value. And you say, why? Why should you take more time when you're in the results phase of your business instead of the student phase? The reason is because if you're in the results phase of your business, you're getting results now too. You're making money too. You're getting sales too. So there's nothing wrong with you now have value to share with the new member. You have a lot more value to share. You have experience, you have proof, you have social proof, you have income proof. So now you kind of are getting, the hang of how things work. You're starting to pick up momentum, you're starting to make money. So now it makes sense for you to kind of have, have the new members under your wing a little more. So the way that you would do this is the way that you would keep in contact with the new members and also support them while you're trying to get new clients and you're trying to get new sales is you would create communication systems, right? And the communication systems, I'm going to give you an example. I speak a lot about communication systems in my mega level advanced training, which is the highest level network marketing training that I have available to network marketers, small business owners, and investors. That training, what I do is I tell you how to set up communication systems using social media. So let me give you an example of a communication system. An example of a communication system would be something like a Facebook group, for example, right? A Facebook group allows you to invite your team members, your organization, your customers. It allows you to create a private Facebook group for those new team members, and you can add the people who join you in your Herbalife business. You can add them to your Facebook group. Now, anybody who's in that Facebook group, anytime you post in that group, they get a notification, right? So they know that you're posting. They see what it is that you're posting in the group. And this is a form of a communication system because from the press of one button, you can have multiple people on your team at one time see whatever it is that you're sharing with them. So in that sense, what you have the ability to do now is you have the ability to teach in groups, right? So you're not just working with somebody one-on-one in that aspect. You're not just training somebody one-on-one. You're literally giving value. You're sharing value in groups. So it's kind of just like a classroom, for example. Like, the college professor doesn't come to my house and teach me, right, about the subject. I have to go to the class at the school, whatever school that may be, right? And I have to go on time in order to be taught by the professor, and I'll be in a group. I'll be one of the students, right, inside of the classroom or whatever, and that's how I learn. I have to go to the professor. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to build a tribe or a following, if you will, around you, because these are the people who became customers. These are the people who joined you in your business, right? They became team members of yours. So what you would do is you would create communication systems where you can teach them, you can give value to them, and you can communicate with them in groups. That's what you would do. And then now this takes off a lot of the one-on-one pressure of having to talk to everybody one-on-one. That doesn't make any sense. We have social media now. We have Facebook groups. We have Facebook chats. We have emails. We can blast out messages to more than one person. So the best way to handle people who have joined you while still, marketing and getting new people to join you in your business is have communication systems in place to where you can send out something and your whole entire tribe, your whole entire organization, your whole entire team can see it without you having to do much work. I hope that makes sense. So that's one way that you'll be able to handle that and juggle that. So it shouldn't be that hard. So your Facebook group can have thousands and thousands and even millions of people in that Facebook group. There's no limit to it. So you can keep going and going. If you keep getting new team members, getting new customers, you can keep adding them to the Facebook group or whatever communication system you created, and they'll keep seeing your value. They'll keep seeing what you have to share. And that's just one aspect to it. There's other aspects to creating communication systems that are very effective. But that stuff I'm not really going into. That's stuff that I more so talk about in my mega level education training system, which is the most advanced training system that I have for network marketers. But I'm moving on to the second part of her question now, because this is a pretty complex question. So she asked me, she said, if we are training up several brand new people per month who have little to no experience in sales and marketing, like myself, and also those who want your support on their weight loss journey by being available to help them achieve their goals and keep them accountable, is that manageable on such a large scale? So yes, to answer the question, yes, it's very manageable on a large scale. Like I said, you'd create systems that'll make it manageable, more manageable for you, right? Where you kind of take out that one-on-one aspect of it. Now, if you want to do some offline stuff, like if you have some people who joined your team and then they're in your local area, what you can do is you can go to a local like Herbalife shop or something like that, and you can have people who are on your team who's in your local area, you can have them meet you up at the shop at a certain time on a certain day every week. And you can create a schedule. And once you create that schedule, it'll systematize the process of you training with your team members. It'll systematize the process of you coaching your new team members who join you in Herbalife. So this makes it much easier to handle your team, because it's not like you have to talk to everybody one-on-one. You could literally create, you could do things in groups. You can train in groups. You can work out in groups. You can get more fit in groups. You guys can meal prep in groups. You can coach all that stuff in groups. So use that to your advantage. So is this manageable on a large scale? Yes, it's manageable, right? It's manageable. And the people, always remember this, the people who are most serious about succeeding will show up. They're going to show up to your Facebook group. They're going to show up to your the local shop, if you have a meeting with them every week or something, whatever you set up. If you want to have that, you don't have to have that. You could do your business only online. You could do nothing but build a team online if you want. There's still strategies to set up communication systems to handle that as well. But all I'm trying to say is that don't get overwhelmed and don't overthink this process. Don't overthink like, oh man, I want to get started in this business, but I don't know how I'm going to help the people who join me in my business. Yes, that is something you want to think about, but it's not something to be overwhelmed by. Does that make sense? It's not something to stop you from making a decision to get started in the business, because that's going to take care of itself, right? So you go through student phase, you learn the game, you learn the ins and outs, you invest into your business education. Boom. Now you start applying that information, you start applying that knowledge, you start applying that training. Now you start getting results. Now you become in the results phase of your business, right? That's the second phase. So now you're getting some money, you're getting some sales, cool. Now you have more value to offer. You have more value to share with your team. So after the results phase, what we have is the final phase, and the phase that allows you to make the most money in this business is the third phase, which is the leadership phase. The leadership phase. Now, how long does it take you to go from student to results to the leadership phase? It depends. It varies. It could take years. It could take months. It could take time for you to go from the student to leadership phase, because, the student phase is very, very important. I think a lot of people just try to skip the student phase and they just want to start getting results and become a leader, but it doesn't work like that, because the student phase is where all the foundation is built. That's where most of your knowledge is. You get most of your knowledge. That's where you get most of your value. That's where you learn the most. The student phase is the reason of how you're going to get to the results phase. And then the results phase is the reason why you're going to get to the leadership phase. So you need to do it in order. First, student phase, you're just worried about learning. You're not worried about getting overwhelmed by new team members. You're not worried about doing too much trainings. You're not worried about doing too much coaching. You're worried about learning. You're worried about becoming a master at this business. You're learning about all the ins and outs of the business in student phase. Now, however long it takes you, you keep taking action, you stay consistent, you stay motivated, you keep showing up in your business. What's going to happen is you're going to start to get sales. You're going to start to get results. That's the second phase. You're in this results phase. Now you can worry more about your team. You can more so help your team, more so coach your team without having to necessarily send them up to your upline or to your mentor or whatever. Once you start continue to get results, you're consistent with your results, you start producing more, start ranking up, you start increasing your income, all that good stuff. Then what starts to happen is you start to emerge as a leader, right? And when you emerge as a leader, honestly, that's the time. The leadership phase is where you're worried mostly about the other people who join you in your team. So that could take time for you to even get to that leadership phase, right? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for you to develop your knowledge, develop your skill sets, which is okay. But once you get to what I'm trying to say is that in the student phase, you're not even worried about training too much other people. You're worried about learning. That's what you're worried about. And in the leadership phase, that's more so where you start worrying about training people. You start worrying about more so, how to put together maybe courses, coaching programs, maybe websites, whatever you need, systems, whatever you need to set up as a leader. That phase, the leadership phase, is where you're going to get more into that stuff, is where you're going to kind of think more about, helping your team. Does that make sense, right? Because in that phase, by the time you become a leader, you've mastered the game. You know the ins and outs of the business. You got a lot of skill sets under your belt. You've developed your skills. You know how to close sales. You know how to get traffic. You know how to convert leads. You have a system in place when you're in a leadership phase. So now it makes more sense for you to now lend a helping hand to the new member who just joined you in your business, because you know the game. You're not going to mislead them. You're not going to tell them false information. So that's why I say to take your time and allow yourself to go through the phases of being a student, getting results, and becoming a leader. Allow yourself to go through becoming a student, getting results, and becoming a leader, and that takes time. But allow yourself to grow, right? Allow yourself to grow. And then, so it's very manageable on even a large scale. And to be honest with you, when it becomes more on a larger scale, like if it really, really grows to a super large scale, like let's say your team really, really starts to grow to hundreds of people, what I would recommend is, that you start to build like an inner circle of leaders on your organization. So let's say you have 500 people in your organization, or 100 or 300 people. Get with like about 10 other people, the 10 most serious other people in your organization, or the 10 top producers in your organization. Get with them, create an inner circle with them, and you also have them lead the organization as well with you. So now it's manageable on a larger scale, because now it's not only you who's motivating, inspiring, and giving value to the other team members. Now you have 9 other people who are getting results in your organization, in your team, who want to come together with you and lead the rest of the entire team, right? Because it's hard to, teach, show up on time all the time for thousands and hundreds of people. So like I said, the best thing to do when it really gets big to a big level is to start kind of sharing your leadership role with other leaders on your team, right? And then you give value that way. Now it's very manageable on a larger scale. So the last question is, how does that work once you start to grow and move up? Well, same type of thing. As the numbers grow and moves up, what happens is you start to create more success stories. You start to get more results. You start to create more social proof. So your team now has leverage. Your team now has social proof to share with other people, to show other people, look, we're winning. Look, we're getting results. We're getting healthier. We're becoming more fit. We're making more money. We're on the entrepreneurship journey. We're winning. We're reaching 6 figures. So now what happens is your team starts to build momentum. And as that starts to grow, the same thing. You just start to share your leadership role with other leaders in your organization, other people who are getting results. These have to be very, very serious and very, very ambitious people. You don't want to give leadership roles to people who aren't going to be consistent. You don't want to give leadership roles to people who aren't going to show up. So you want to have people who are going to cooperate with you, people who are serious about the business just like you are, and come together with them, and you give value, share information to the whole entire organization. Now you have 10 people leading, coaching, educating hundreds of people. And it's possible that way, right? Now it's possible to do it. And as that numbers grow, as the number grows, as the number of leaders that you create, as that number grows, the more you can expand your leadership council to manage the team, no matter how far it grows. So I hope I answered this question. I hope that I gave good answers to this question. This is stuff that I used to think about and get overwhelmed about myself before I got into MLM, before I got into network marketing. So I understand these thoughts. I understand having the thought where it's like, all right, what do I do? How do I help new team members? But this is it. This is how you would do it. Of course, this is just a 30-minute video, so it's going to take some time. It's a process going through the students to the results to the leadership phase, but it's well worth it. It is extremely worth it, because once you reach that leadership phase, you become just a better entrepreneur. You know, you're making passive income. You have more people who are listening to you. Your network is bigger. You know, your team is bigger now. So more people are listening to your value. They're watching your videos. They're watching your coaching. They're learning from you, right? They're growing because of you. They're getting results because of you. So you want to be there. You want to show up for your team. You know, you want to show up not only for the people the new customers you're looking to get, but you also want to create systems that continues to add value, continues to educate, and continues to uplift the people who are already on your team. So you work on advertising and giving value to both, right? You give value to both the new member you're getting on your team, and as well as the people who already joined you in your business. You keep them both happy, you're gonna have a long, flourishing, and strong sales career. Without any further ado, this is Jonathan Belcher. You can check out the link in the description below. I have 2 links. I have the link to the Power Distributor ebook. If you haven't gotten access to the Power Distributor ebook to teach you how to get Herbalife sales, that's just an ebook. So it's just, just straight reading. Then we have the training course, which is the Power Distributor Pro training course, the actual hands-on, step-by-step training course where you get to watch me over my computer screen. You kind of get to watch over my shoulder, see how I get leads, how I get sales, and build a large organization using the internet. So you get to use social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You learn how to use these websites to amass a large following, a large amount of leads, so that you can get sales in your sleep, right? Earn passive income, be at work while getting commissions, be at the movies while getting commissions, be on the beach traveling while getting commissions. It's about leverage, and that's what we teach you how to do in your Herbalife business in the Power Distributor Pro training course. So that link is also in the description of this video as well. And for those of you who are just now seeing me for the first time, please like, share, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel if you got value from this video. If you didn't get any value from this video and you're like, yo, this kid don't know what he's talking about, just X out, right? It's cool, right? It doesn't make a difference. I appreciate you anyway. But it's Jonathan Belcher. I'm going to see you later. Peace.